Nick, you have too much.
Because, well, it's kind of
Yes.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So are there any adjustments to the agenda?
None.
Consider the minutes from our January 9th meeting.
Sure. And the chairperson should be included in the packet, barring any errors or omissions. I would recommend approval as written.
Yep, motion to approve is written.
Second.
All in favor? Public comment? Anybody? Share anything?
How we doing? Made it through the last one.
Motley crew up there.
See if we can do this one. Do we have a presentation?
We do, we're gonna give it a few minutes, so we'll go to the next one.
Whole business generator update?
Yes, so as we talked about last time with the we've got a temporary one in place, so we've got that up and running. They cannot fix that generator, they can't get the engine pieces that they need to do anything, so it's gonna have to be replaced. But we have filed the insurance claim, and that should be a little over 50,000, so we're gonna be looking somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 70,000 beyond that, which we will be fine with, just so that you're aware as that comes forward. And those generators are 6 to 8 months out, so we're soliciting free RFPs right now, and once we get those back, I'll bring it back to you, but so that you're aware that's in the works and that's where it's at. So we've got the temp,
So,
so we've got this one set up, and we've got it for as long as we need it, so.
having just come out of budgets, where do you magically find another $50,000?
High school, we've got it.
Okay.
We got it. You guys have a couple of maintenance reserve accounts if we have to dip into it.
Okay.
But projected based on high school tuition, if we get close to the end, I will likely ask you to move funds from regular to maintenance.
Okay.
But we'll wait until we get to the end to make sure.
Sure. Okay.
That there's no whatever.
Not going to have to do bake sales.
Not yet. Not for that.
Any other questions? The main service?
Yep. So we do this typically every year, and I just thought we would do it early. I'm gonna ask you if you approve the vote to give me the authority to move the May in service if we end up using so many snow days that we run it into the next week. Because that way, rather than trying to pull it together in April, last minute, let parents know last minute. If we don't have to do that yet, we're not there. But just rather than do that, I thought we'd take the approach to be a little bit more proactive ahead of time, so that if we run into that last week, I will move it, and if we run beyond that, then it will stay where it is, because we're not gonna gain enough days. I'd rather bring people back for a half day on a Monday, which has historically low attendance. I would move it if needed, because I can get the teachers to come back on the Monday, and sometimes the students, okay? So my recommendation would be that you give me the authority to move that if we need to when we get to that point.
Absolutely, yeah, I would absolutely motion to give the superintendent the authority to move the May in service day if needed.
I'll second that. All in favor? Okay, we'll move on to the principal's report.
Oh, no.
No?
No,
I'm skipping a
No,
whole
it's okay.
section.
And we've still got a presentation.
I know. Well, I looked around, I didn't see it from here.
That's what I'm looking for.
If
Okay.
not, I heard Alan was willing to do one, so.
Where's that basketball? The warrant number 8.
Yep.
Making its way. The Mascot River Educational
Yep.
Service Center.
So we belong to this currently in a couple of different fashions. Prep is the one that does our marching service, where we have professional development that's regionally done to the 26 districts. But Heather also sits on the Spruce Board. A couple of quick things here. This was a 10-year agreement that we signed, and if you recall, one of the benefits of the Educational Service Center was that you receive additional revenues. AOS 47 over the 10 years has received about 410,000 extra in revenue. Orrington has received about 310,000 of that over those 10 years. The reason I'm bringing this forward to you now is next month, I'm going to ask you to vote to reauthorize it. We've had to do some work to reapprove it because it expired in 10 years, but it's essentially going to be the same thing finishing 4. I'll go over any of those changes to you, but I didn't want to spring it on you next month and not have you be aware. For those of you who don't know, I have the dubious distinction of being the president of that for the last 3 years, and they've asked me to do it again next year, so we will likely do that mainly because of the history of keeping it moving forward. We've belonged to prep since the 90s and Spruce since the 70s. And this merges those things together. And actually, ironically, Alan Snell was one of the original signers of both of those things because he was there then. But it will do us a few things. It'll allow us to continue that revenue forward. It allows us to share our regional special ed programs and regional professional development. But there are also a few other things as we've looked. Betsy Webb was the director. We have an interim now. Once we've got this all reworked, we'll be looking to replace that position and start to pursue some other opportunities as well, so that we can continue to try to keep as many dollars in the classroom as possible while we reduce cost and improve services in the other areas. Very similar to what we did with transportation.
So when you talk about the revenue, where does that fit into our budget?
It's already captured in the revenue sheet up top for state subsidy. Essentially, the formula has 6 different pages. The 5th page is where you get additional costs or additional revenues from different things. That's one of the lines that you can get it in. And then it carries through the total subsidy at the end. Otherwise, you'd see 31,000 less on that line. So next month, I'll be bringing the document forward and asking you to vote on it. I really wanted you to have a chance to think about it or ask any questions now before we get to next month. So any questions? Thank you.
Okay, so it looks like we might have our presenters.
We are ready for our presentation.
And you're early.
These guys are just that good, to be honest with you. They move me quickly.
Yes. So we have Mrs. Mower here today, Isabella, and Mrs. Mower's daughter, Amber, wanted to come and check out the school building as well. So Mrs. Mower started something this year. Mrs. Mower and the 3 of us talk all of the time about ways to get our kids connected, ways to have them find their people, all these kinds of wonderful things, all the positive things that we can do in our school, finding things to do. So we've got all kinds of different ideas, but with middle school, things need to happen kind of organically. They need to be kind of authentic. You can't push anything on our middle schoolers. So one of the things that Mrs. Mower wanted to take on was something called a kindness card. Take it over and talk about the kindness card.
Can everyone sing?
Yes.
Sorry, I feel like we're a little closer this time. So this is our kindness card, and as Mrs. Marvin said, I kind of try to choose kiddos in our middle school, maybe some of those kids that aren't always involved in different things, or just kids that organically want to do it. Like Bella, I always have a lot of kiddos that are coming up and saying, "We're going to do the cart," or "When are we going to do the cart?" So Bella has done it twice now. Yep, and I'm slowly in the process of having them, like, the kids kind of take it over, like the inventory of it, and being able to decide like when we do it, and just it's supposed to be eventually just kind of all kid driven. But Bella, do you want to tell them a little bit about it and what you do?
So, teachers can pick like 2 things on it, and there's a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure what's in it.
Tell them where you go.
Yeah.
What do you do?
We go to
that's so
teachers' rooms and stuff.
I've seen Bella walking all over the school pushing the cart. So you go all the way down to the free floor wing too, right? Which is a long way down.
And how do you know which classrooms to go to?
We have a list.
So they have a list here that they have to check off, and if a teacher's not there, we try to find them later. But what sorts of things can they choose from, on the cart?
They can choose like stickers, like if you don't like any of the stuff that we have on it, you can like ask for a hug or a high five and stuff like that.
And that's obviously dependent on the kiddos doing it and the teachers. But we have edible, we have snacks and stuff, we have drinks. And for those teachers that don't want something to eat or drink, we have, like we said, the stickers. We also have a Give Me a Break where they can choose, there's about 20 of each, like a word search or some sort of activity. There's even like an Uno game in there. They can choose a card and maybe it says, what did they say?
You get a high five from everyone in the room.
So everyone in the room has to stop and give the teacher a high five. Some of them are just positive sayings. One of them says,
Choose a student to teach for 5 minutes.
so just something kind of fun. The kids like seeing it. The teachers are really liking seeing the cart come around. I try to do it like twice a month at least. Or, maybe if we're noticing that teachers just need a little pick-me-up, we'll do it. Did we miss anything? And I had some of my older middle schoolers, they helped make a survey for us to kind of figure out what teachers wanted. Their specialty, drinks, sodas, and stuff like that. So, yeah. Any questions?
I love how the kids are so excited when they're pushing the cart around, and our shy ones are talking about a minute when they go to each classroom. I love that.
And we work on being able to, appropriately knock on the door, waiting for the teacher to come. And it was kind of funny. We had second grade. Were you doing the cart? I think you were doing the cart. Second grade teacher, I guess some kindergarten kiddos kept like going by and knocking on the door. So she was getting kind of irritated. She's like, what's going on? So she came out and she was like, I'm going to tell the principal. And it was the kindest. She was so happy to see that it's the kindest part, not a kindergarten running by knocking on her door.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so the kids are really looking forward to it. Right now, I'm funding it through, last year I applied for Oakhurst Kindness Grant and received that. So that's where some of the funds are coming from for that. And moving forward,
We'll have to keep on going.
Yeah,
now
we'll
that
figure
they've got
out.
a taste of it.
Yeah. Any questions for us, for Bella, Bella, listeners?
So do you get to do it with a friend, or do you do it by yourself, or does Mrs. Miller go with you?
We do it with like another person that you choose.
And actually, Mrs. Moore has not been walking with them. I think she walked with them the first time, but they did it by themselves.
Yeah, I'll walk maybe just up the hallway just a little bit to get them going, but then I say, yeah, see you later.
And the teachers have no idea what day it is.
Nope, and actually, we did it was it Tuesday? I think so. I actually had some other middle schoolers come in and we did chocolate covered strawberries.
Oh.
So
Very
I'm
nice.
trying to like pull in different kiddos just to do some different activities, and they really enjoy doing it. And then I had a separate set doing the cart. I have kids that are getting angry at me because they don't have a chance to do the cart. But yeah, they really enjoy it. So.
What's in the little green packet that's wrapped up?
A marker for the.
Oh,
It's a holder.
it's a marker holder.
It's a good crowd.
Right?
Custom made.
Yeah, custom made. It used to be a computer cart and we painted it up and everything. So.
That's cool. It's awesome. Yeah.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Try to be as quiet as
It's okay.
No, no, good.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. That warms your heart.
Absolutely. It's fun because in middle school, the kids are trying to find it, people can see where they fit, and just they're shy or they're loud, there's just no happy medium. So some of these, she's been picking some of her quieter ones that just need to find the spot for themselves. And so we've had fun doing that.
You can move on to our board.
Yes.
So I should have said this while Mrs. Moore was here, but we had our high school night 2 weeks ago. Had great turnout, and this was Mrs. Muller's second year doing it, so she changed it up a little bit, and we actually had it in here where all 5 schools came and did a very brief 5-minute meet and greet, and then they had a section set up, and parents just rolled around and talked to all of the schools, rather than our structured every 15 minutes going from place to place. We heard some great things. The schools really liked it this way. I think the parents enjoyed it. I think next year we might open up the gyms so we can spread out a little bit. We're a little bit tight in this area, so we might just spread out a little bit. But went very, very well. And, I think it's important that you all hear too that every single school came up to me afterwards and said what amazing kids we have, how polite they were. They shook hands, they asked questions. They love to get the kids from Warrington, and they are all very, very quick to tell them that. So, kudos to all of our parents and staff and whatnot for that. So, February is short, but it's going to go fast. It always does. And it's going to be busy. We've had a lot of good things going on. Mr. Maxwell from Outdoor Ed took all grade to Pickle Pond, and they caught some big fish. They all came back just loving it. They had a great time. And I was looking at my last year's report, and can you believe Deputy Dan has been here for 1 full year? So I thought I should mention that. We've had a lot of fun with Dan. The relationships that he's building is amazing, which is exactly what we wanted with this. I constantly see him walking in the halls. He's got his regulars that are always with him during their scheduled times. And then all of a sudden I'll look and he is helping with girls basketball, or he is playing dodgeball with 3 or 4 of the other grade levels. It's been really nice to have that kind of consistency. Very positive. Any questions for me? I will keep you updated as the kids start choosing which high school they're gonna go to. I don't know, we haven't had a lot with bats the last few years. That's dwindled, and I have a few more this year that are interested in bats and less interested in him. So we'll see what, you never know. We always say, once they go, that's when they feel. When they go in, they feel. Of course, we have our regulars are going to Brewer. We have a lot that go to Brewer every year anyway. But it's usually been kind of balanced between bats and Hampton. So we'll see what happens.
Well, my whole report this month is just all about how busy we are in this building. It's always such a busy building and so many activities happening. If you arrived right before the budget meeting, you would know, we would have heard all the noise in the gym tonight. We were hosting the semifinals for the B basketball games, and both of our center drive boys and girls B teams won the semifinals tonight, which means they move on to Thursday night for their championship game, which is also hosted here, so that's really exciting. Our A teams are getting ready for this Saturday to start their tournaments, and busy time of year for basketball. It's wrapping up the season. And then, as mentioned last month, we started a volleyball team this year. So actually, their first practice is tonight. And again, we are not using our gym for the volleyball because pretty soon we're going to have our gym filled with the stage and all that stuff, getting ready for drama and play and everything. So we're using our community school practices tonight. So we'll see how that goes. But we have 12 girls that are registered.
Nice.
So that's a lot more than I thought. So that's exciting. And the play that I just mentioned, auditions just began yesterday for our 2024 performance of Lumberjacks and Wedding Bells. So that'll be another fun performance, and I'm really excited this year. Some of the students that I've heard that are trying out, and I'm just excited to see them getting it. Again, it's all about participating and finding your thing. So I'm really excited to see this happen for us. And then finally, we have our spelling bee coming up. We had our school spelling bee just the other day, and then Jill Hunter is taking our some of our people to Glenmurray School for the BDML spelling bee later in the month. Any questions?
I can cover it, but so her report this month is focused on the transition for our students to high school as well. You'll note in there that the IEP and 504 follow them, as does Mary Ellen. She's the one who will implement and make sure that all of those things are done, whatever high school they go to. And they have those same choices. And then what will happen if they have an IEP is they have a transition meeting with that high school so that we can ensure that the programming aligns from what they've had here to what they get at the high school. And they have those conversations and then rewrite the IEP to meet however that high school piece is done. She also notes that she has invited the social worker to one of our meetings so that you can hear what she does and how she does to help our students here. If you recall, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago that we made that full-time between the schools. And Carrie Harris is an Orrington person who has done very well for us. We're very lucky to have her. I don't take any questions on this. We have covered my report, so I would take any questions you have on it, but other than questions, I would submit it as written. And just say, believe it or not, we're almost to March. Crazy. Yeah, oh, we are. You're gonna blink next week, Sean. We're coming back in 1 week. So,
The rest of us don't have vacation, just saying.
oh, I don't either. The gift that we give you is you have your children.
Which is why I don't take vacation.
We only want to be here for you.
All right, so move on to personnel.
Yep,
Nothing.
none.
Okay, looks like that's all we have for tonight, unless there's any other questions or comments from public or board.
Outstanding. We can actually have a selectors meeting now. Present the budget, they saw it.
Well, I didn't say I wouldn't come.
He did his part.
Maybe you'll still have a couple.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you will. But you guys have done very well on your side for a long time as well. Yeah,
Get a town manager, this evening.
very good.
All right, well, I guess we're adjourned for tonight.
Thank you.
Next meeting is March 5th.